Ready, by my count, come on, so ready, 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, 다섯, 여섯, 일곱, 락키야, 여, 아홉, 여, 일, 이, 삼, 사, 오, 야. So with the classes we've done so far, Pyung Ahn, the idea of the live sparring was to the different situations can call for sort of different responses. Okay, so that's what we kind of looked at there. The Pyung Ahn class, what we looked at was that all of these moves should be able to be done in some way, whatever the position. So it's not like you punch me wrong, you grab me instead of punching me. They should work there. So again, I could have done these classes like those last two. I've chosen to look at them in a different way, but I'm not saying this is the way, I'm saying it's a way of doing it, okay? So basically, in a form, you want to be the one dictating all the time. So you want to be winning all the time. The idea is it's always my turn, it's never their turn. What can happen sometimes though, and I know this from my own experience, is something can happen in a fight that makes you very uncomfortable. Luke was talking about Garen was ambushed by the two twins in a fight, and he just had this look of utter, I have no idea how to deal with this situation, I've got no chance. Okay? So in this form, what I've decided to look at is what happens when the fight doesn't work out. What happens when you are stuck in this bad position? So I don't want anyone saying like, how did you end up in this bad situation? I don't know, something's happened and you've been there. And we're going to look at it in two ways. So we're going to look at the bad positions first, because you look at any good fighter out there, they go like, I don't train what I'm good at, I train what I'm terrible at, and we keep drilling that until I am good at it. And then we find another terrible position I'm in. So we should always have this mentality of like, of course we're good at what we're good at, this is great, but if we're in this bad position, we don't want to freak out. So sometimes it's just being comfortable in that discomfort. So Hyung, can I use you please? So this is bad positions, and the first move of all the peace and safety forms, I think should be, how can I put this? A defensive aggression. Yeah, it's defensive in mind. Like I'm not starting anything, but it's aggressive enough that it would work on its own. Okay, so every move of the form should work on its own, and it should also work in sequence. Okay, so for example, the first move in Pyung Ahn Sam Dan is a block here, and I always call this the flinch response. So it could be Hyung comes in with the haymaker, and I'm here. Yeah, it could be that he's come in with the haymaker, and I step off to the side. Yeah, it could be with the haymaker that it's more of a straight punch. I'm going to push it across here. Okay? So that, I hope everyone's okay with that very simple application of the first move. Okay? And also, what it could be is, he could go with one. I could wrap this up, and there's my second one, and it keeps hitting him until he's unconscious. Okay? So it's a defensive move that could also be very aggressive. So we're kind of just going to breeze over that one. So I think but if you want to start the sequence like that, you can. So for example, the bad position one is that he comes in with the shot, I block it, but then he grabs me with two hands. So that would be situation A of like, I tried the first block, it didn't work, and he grabbed me. So if you want a context of how you got in there, you can just start it from the two-hand grab. Okay? So what I'm going to do from here is I'm going to bring him down and strike him. This is the first arm break here. So the idea is they're simultaneous. I bring him in and strike him here. The second one now is you come over the one arm, and you bring him in, and then you come around here and crank the neck. Okay? So maybe a safer way to do it with your partner is if he comes in with the punch and grabs with the other arm, then you've got this. 1, 2, 3. But it would work with two hands as well. Just want you to do. So go from the other side, punch from the other side. So he comes in with the punch, he grabs with this hand, I bring him back. 1, 2, 3, and 2. And that's the end of the fight. Push away, self-defense. Everyone okay to give that a go with your partner? do the next bit now, which is this sort of grabbing here, wrestling, yeah? So the same thing could happen. He could have come in with a punch. I've done my first move, but now now I'm in this wrestling position. Always, they're going to have one leg forward. Always, okay? No one's going to attack you with two legs there. So we want to turn him onto this side, because this is the weaker side, okay? So this is in the form, this is in the form here, 1. Okay, it was this way, 1, 2. There's a turn, yeah? So the turn is important. I'm turning my partner. So I've come in, 1, he's grabbed hold of me, he's got one leg forward, my hands are here or wherever they are, but whatever happens is the hand on his leg forward side, that's important, he's going to come under and tip up. See this motion now? Yeah? And then this hand is another in to out here against his neck, and I'm going to step towards here. And that's the throw. So throw from the other side. So, you can come in with a punch, but basically we're in this situation, which is very common, yeah? He's got one leg forward, so this, same thing, I'm going to come under here and wrap. This is very strong, and it's very hard for Hyung to step in now. You can just hold him here, but if you do it all in one motion, this should secure your partner to the floor. Taylor just brought up a really good point, which is this. I've taught him other ways to take down from that position. Mahk, you were just doing an X block. There are other things you can do there. What you have to imagine is the whole Pyung form is like think of it as a buffet, yeah? And it's got all the things you like on there, right? And you can't eat it all. So you have to pick what your favourite thing is and put that into your lexicon and fight it. And that's what makes you an individual martial artist. Does that make sense? But all the options are there. So if that really works for you, if that makes sense to you, that pointing the foot and dropping down, so there you go down, keep it. If the hand Mahk turn, staying in back stance works for you, keep that. Okay? It's whatever works for you. Okay? So now we're going to go into a very, very sort of classic one, if I borrow you, which is the spear hand to spinning back fist. Yeah? So the idea is, again, we go back to Idan now, is the idea is that if he comes in with the punch, I'm here. Yeah? Now, what could happen with that is, with this arm, we just assume that Hyung just grabs my arm, yeah? So the idea is, he's got, just for the sake of the drill, again, you still could do it with that side, but just for the sake of the drill, if you could grab it with that, and he's got my arm now in the fight, and he puts me into his own arm bar, yeah? So as he steps back and puts an arm bar on his own hand on Mahk here, I'm stuck in that position. Does that make sense? So the idea is, if we were fighting from here, and I came here, and I took back into the arm, if I do that, that's good for me. But if he does it to me, we've got to say to ourselves, well, how would we get out of that? So again, it's not an ideal situation. What's happened in the fight is, instead of me doing this to Hyung, he's done it to me. Okay, we're just answering the question. Just because we can do it to someone doesn't mean they can't do it to me. And once they've got that lock on you, and they've got all their force down, I can't fight that. So what the form teaches you is to spin and get out, and then follow through and punch. So it's a very simple release. If he doesn't put it on and I fight it, I can turn it back into the chop. But as we realised, as soon as he drops that weight down, now I'm stuck. And see how you're in a side stance already? Side stance, you step through and punch. Okay, so it's a very simple one. Shouldn't take you long, but it's nice to know if they get you with that arm bar. Yeah, so again, what I was saying was, a nice way to go through it is from a handshake. So if you think, is this being, so again, this is not how you train really, but if you want to practice it, what happened, you're going to handshake here, if I put a holding the arm bar, he spins round, does the hand fist, boom, yeah, and then we do it again, he puts the arm bar on me, 1, I release and do. So if you want a starting point, that's a good way to go into it. But basically, you've been fighting here, we did the chops, trying to get your chops in, and he suddenly grabs my arm and puts it on here. That's what's happening in the fight, is that we're hand fighting. I'm trying to get into it here, and then suddenly he just grabs my arm and puts it here. Yeah. So maybe I try to go for a takedown. Maybe it's here, and I try to go for this Kwang Soo takedown. He's grabbed my arm and take me down to the floor. So again, if you want scenarios to try and imagine, well, how will I get in this position? There's many ways you can get in that position. The important thing is to know how to get out. So what I like doing is I like finding a bit of the form that we already do in our one steps, because then they make our one steps more relevant. Yeah, that they're not just they've got some connection. Okay, it's all connected. So again, we're fighting here, and suddenly Hyung wraps his hand over and he's got me in a headlock. Okay? I always want to cover this arm, and I come over now. In our form, we stop there. But what I can do is bring him right round to the floor, and that's the teapot position.
Probably, now, we finish shortly.
Yeah.
I would struggle with somebody really tall with that, wouldn't I?
Okay, but again, as if I'm standing up, I can just stand up. In order for him to really get it on hard, he has to duck down.
Right, okay.
Do you see that?
Yeah.
And again, look at his knee there. I can take his knee down, bring him down to my level, and as I make the teapot, I bring him down. So again, if he stands up and does the headlock, he hasn't got it on very hard. The real headlock sort of jumps over and does this. So he comes down to your level. There are other ways out of it, to get out of it. I just want to show you that headlock because we already do it in the one step. So again, it just goes back when you're doing your one. Yeah, no worries. So he's got me here, and again, if he stood up tall, just stand up tall, it's really easy for me to get out. So in order for him to have it on strong, he has to come down. I always want to have this for separation. You can hit him in the head first, then slide over. But then as I bring my hand to my waist, which is what the form does slowly, is more force on Hyung's chin, bringing him over. Okay? So this is a simple one. A couple minutes on this one. I like to explain why there's three of something. It makes perfect sense to me when we do it on one side, then that makes sense, that makes total sense to me. When it's three in a line, it doesn't make sense to me, because it's favouring the right, less the left. So this is not the way it's supposed to be done, but this is the only thing I can think of that justifies why you have 3 steps, either forward or backwards. Okay? So I'll go through it quickly on the video, because I know a lot of my students have done this in the class. Okay, we'll go through it. This is the classic straight punch or grab. Yeah. So as he comes forward, I want to be on the outside. That's here, and I've turned my hip side on. I'm not in the lower stance, but I'll get lower as I go through the move. I grab and smash, and if you want, keep smashing. Eventually, he's going to pick up his hand. So then I justify the turn of the hips which we have in the form. So I turn him in, boom, and that's to the belly. Yeah. Then I'm going to put on this arm lock. And this is where I drop my stance down. So if we go to step 2 first, I think everyone should be okay with that, okay? So first step, I want to be on the outside. It would work on the inside, but I still have to worry about that hand, okay? So this is a good position, because if Hyung tries to punch me, I've got this hand already up, okay? So it's always better to be on the outside, okay? So he comes in, 1, keep striking until he blocks and grabs your hand, because that's going to be his natural response. I then grab his hand, because it's fair, I pull him into a cross here, and as I'm pulling him across, this is my stance turning into the narrow front stance. 1. And again, I keep punching him here until he's unconscious. And then when he starts to get frisky, I can bring it down this way or this way. I like this way, but it's to there. And I step forward, and that justifies the drop of the stance to me. Okay? The last bit now, the out to in kick, and again, I know the kick isn't in the karate, it's not the original Japanese, but it's out in the Korean. Why did the Koreans add in the kick? And I'm a big fan of this. Sometimes just do it through the whole sequence. 1, 2, bang, bang, here, 1, 2. Sometimes you've got a strong guy, and you can't get him down. So what happens is, as you push him down, you add in the out to in. Then, I kick to the face. I've got the arm here. Now very slowly, this is the 3rd step. Okay, show from the other side so you can see from the other side. Okay, so I really like adding the leg in for this purpose, for getting people down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can't get him down, so break the arm down, kick him in the face. That's the stamp down now. And then I start walking slowly forward until he taps. Earlier you tried to take down with a horse rider stance, yeah? I'm going to show these 2 at the same time. It's the last 2 bits of the form, just because they're very easy. Okay? So the last move is a back fist, and we used to leave the last back fist out as we punched, and probably some of you go, or some of you still do that. That's great. The idea is now, from the hook punch, that's my block. So we're trying to teach a block can be a strike, but a strike can be a block. All the same. I then step through and go through Hyung. I've grabbed onto this double here, and I'm punching him. That doesn't take him down. But as I step behind him and turn, that takes him down. And when that's done quickly, it's like, it works like this. I won't do it full speed, but I'll do it in flow. 1, 2, you step behind him, and you just, yeah, exactly, very easy throw. So that's easy, you should be okay with that. The last one, again, is from one step, is the choke. So this is bad position 2, where he comes in and chokes over. I control the leg, elbow. Yeah, that's the first bit. I come over the top, elbow, then last, throw it to the floor and punch. This one's quite straightforward, we've been through this a number of times. So one more time, he comes behind, I lock in and drop my stance. Much harder for him to hold on now when he's higher. I then come over the top and he can't strangle me, even with 2 arms. And I can put another elbow in until he lets go of me. And he's always come round, and as I come over again for one more, I've broken this arm. Okay? So do those 2 together, because they're quite straightforward. I'll show you a flow drill. Now, it's the first flow drill that I've taken elements from other greater martial arts myself. I put it into a little flow drill to show you 2 principles. The principle one we're looking at today is every single move in the form, you're trying to separate and get away. So for every bit you do, no matter how far you get in the flow drill, I want you to step away. That's principle 1. Principle 2 should be this. If it doesn't work, the form offers an answer to them stopping you. So I've always thought of martial arts as advanced problem solving. This is advanced problem solving. Okay? So just for the purpose of the drill, Hyung's going to start with a 2-hand grab. It could be anything. This is just for the purpose of the drill. Okay? So what do we do first in the form? We step out to our left or right. I'm going to go right just because the camera's on this side. And break free and walk away. Look, I'm happy. Everyone understands how that could be seen, yeah? But the idea is, if he's grabbed me, whatever it is, I've broken away. So that's quite easy, we're going to move on for that. So that's flow part 1, disconnect, okay? So, flow part 2 is, I've broken free, but that hand's still there. So then I grab this hand, and break it. We didn't get moves 1 and 2, we're going to do them again. So the idea is the most simple stuff we practice over and over again, much like our pyramid combos we do. So we're just going for the simple one because it's a simple one to remember. So I'm here, I break. Now in the form there's 2 of them, yeah? Is 1, 2. So we're going to do the second one now. I'm going to take this arm down and come here. The nice thing about this move where you turn them is it's got an element of surprise. So I've broke, I've turned around, I'm here. But what can happen now is he's going to stand up. He's within his mind, stand up. So this is why, if you just go back down for me slightly, this is where in the form I then take him out to here. And now try to stand up for him. Much harder. So I've then taken him off balance. Now, this is the thing I like about the Kwang Su. He's still here, so I'm going to put his hand over here, just like the form does. I'm going to go straight forward and take him away. In any normal circumstance, that should be the end of it, right there on the floor. This is where you have to, again, context. For the purpose of the drill, there's some sort of psychic ninja, and they can get out of that next bit. Okay, so that, again, for the flow drill, they have benefits. It helps you remember the whole form, but they're not realistic because then you say, and then they escape from this. Okay, that's what you have to keep saying. So up until then, this is quite nice. Okay, but now you have to suspend your disbelief. Okay, so he comes in here, I break free. I break the arm, I take him over, I turn him, I'm turning him here. Now Hyung, as I go forward, your head's going to slip through and you're going to come out here. Does that make sense? Yeah. So he comes out here and he's up. Right? And there's your spinning back fist there. Okay? But my hand is here now. So I punch him, he tries to block with that hand, perfect Hyung. It's like we practice this, we haven't. I come over the top, and I'm in this nice teapot position around him. Okay, so again, this is nice for the flow, but not very common. Okay, so usually you do the Kwang Su and spin. For this flow, he's spinning around me. So it's changed the context, which is why we've done 2 versions. Okay, so watch it again because it's starting to get quite complicated now. 1, I break down. I come here, and here. As I'm going forward now, Hyung somehow senses me coming through. So he comes through here. There's my spinning back fist, so I still got hold of him. I've got hold of him here. I punch him in the face. He tries to block it with his hand. So this is the cross of the hands in the form. I come over his head here, be very gentle with your partner because in the form is there. And as I raise up, gone. Again, we'll go into this idea of your partner somehow knows what you're going to do and they're going to resist. So again, I want you to get a hold of this principle is you should be winning, you should be in control, you should be going there. But if they do scupper your plans, you have a plan B. I always think of forms as the start is the most simple thing. Simple should always work. When it gets more complicated, the form gets more complicated. Okay, so now we're into the complicated things. And again, there's 3 steps in the form, so I've got 3 variations of what you can do. So it's not going to be 1 and 2 and 3 now, it's going to be either or and. Okay? So, let's go through the whole drill. Just so you can see how it flows. 1, and again, I'm not going hard with my partner. And what I can do as I do this quite soon is I can actually push Hyung through and help him through for the drill to work better. He punches, then I go across. His hand is still there, because I didn't grab his hand properly, and he stops me. Okay? So now, just turn around here, just so it's better. So now I'm into the teapot throws, yeah? So instead of going this way, I have 3 options. So I can't get my hand all the way around here like I did. So I can do 1 or 2 things. I can fight the hand here, come round his head, and take him to the floor. So that would be option 1. So we'll just go from the hand fist. So I've got hold of him, I'm punching him, he's blocked. I grab the hand, but he's really strong here. So instead now, I still have this hand up. This time now, I go over the top of his head there, and I take him down that way. Still works, okay? If his head is not accessible, and I'm here, I'm punching his hands here, I can't get around his head here. I take the arm over here, and step through, and come more down to the floor here. Okay, so let me just show you the 3 options. It's either around his head this way. This is my favourite. It's around his head this way. This one's pretty good. If I can't get to the head, I wrap up the arm. You can either go forward or you can even step backwards. So you can reverse it and bring it backwards. So we're coming to the end of the form now. Okay, so the end of the form should have the most difficult move. So now we're going to do the hip throw. Okay, so let's just go through this last bit first. We're working on this bit. And what I'll do at the end, I'll do the complete flow drill. Okay? So, the way to practice this is, again, to go for this hooking punch. This is the safest way to practice it. So, everyone comes in. So, last time, we punched and just took down. What you're going to do now is you're going to step past and put your hand on the belt. Grab the hand on the shoulder, put it here, turn, lift, place it down on the floor, and punch. So that one, just one more time, a little bit smoother. So from here, 1, 2, I come in front, throw him over the hip, so I've got the hands here, over the hip, lift, there, and punch down. So that would be the hip throw, which is, again, a harder version of the thing I showed you earlier. Yeah? So the thing earlier works, that's fine. So to put it into the flow drill now, complete drill, so you break free, break the arm. Take down, start to bring him over. I start to turn him here and I want to take him down. He escapes through it, so I grab hold of him with my hammer fist. I punch him and I want to go around here and twist him up. If he escapes from that now and he punches again, 1, I come over and I want to take him this way. Hyung skips over my legs and he gets away. Still got him with his back fist. So I punch him again. I'm like, right, you're not getting away from this time. So I grab it over the top. I spin to the floor and I punch him. What I want us to do is, this is my idea for this jitsu today. I want you to start off with the flow. And I want you to do it very, very slowly, very, very easy. At a point in the flow, your cooperative partner is suddenly going to put you in a bad position. Can I explain? Yeah? So for example, Hyung will be doing his flow very gently. He'll be putting me into the moves, he'll be bringing me round, but at some point I'll go, ha! And I'll put him into one of the bad positions we did in the first one. I'm not going to grab him any old way, I'm going to grab him one of the things. So let me just talk you through the positions. The positions were here, that's quite common in the form. The position was here, holding on, yeah. There was a choke from behind, there was a headlock, yeah. There was a hooking punch, okay, and there was a straight punch, okay. That were the main ones that we had, yeah. So at some time in the form, and I want the partner to be completely passive, and at some point they go, ah! So Hyung knows, oh now I'm in trouble. Now the way you react, Taylor, listen, you can react in any way you want, because if you suddenly do the move, and you suddenly say, oh, Sam, I messed up that move, that's not the idea of it. What I'm trying to say is, you link the two together. We did the bad positions first, because we don't want to be in those positions. We want to always be in control. Always, yeah? But if suddenly it doesn't go our way, we need to be able to respond. So I want it to be 10%. Right? 10% going through this flow, and if you finish the entire flow and it doesn't grab you, that's okay. That might happen, yeah? It might always go your way. But at some point, they're going to change the intensity. So it's going to be light, light, and then suddenly they go, and grab tight. So then you have to respond. Does this make sense? Just let her go through the drill, and at some point, you're going to resist. Right. Excellent. He's out. Okay, right, if you want to. Well done. Lovely. See ya. Hi.